Welcome back to New England Living. I'm Rachel Holt. Up next, Michaela Johnson heads to Gloucester for a ride on a famous local schooner. But first, she's off to Essex, Mass. to meet the man behind the sails, maritime historian and shipbuilder Harold Burnham.
For hundreds of years, Harold, your family has been here working and perfecting their craft of boat building. What can you tell us about the company and its history?
The family's been here doing it, but there's been a lot of different companies. My father got my sister and brother and I building dories when we were just kids, and that evolved into the Salt Marsh Dory Company and then eventually Burnham Boatbuilding. They used to build 20, 30, 40, 50 vessels a year here. It's not what it once was. I've built 6 boats in my career so far. Important thing is that the craftsmanship and the craft is being passed on to other generations beyond mine, and I try to be as encouraging as I can of that.
What does it take to get a boat, from an idea to fruition? How would you sum up the process of boat building?
Well, the first step in building a boat is finding a customer, and that's rare these days. There's not as many people who want wooden boats and are willing to put the energy into it. Acquiring material is second to finding a customer, is finding the material.
A lot of the materials needed are stored right behind us. What do you gather up in order to make a boat happen?
Wood that we use is what we would define as urban forestry, so it's taken out of people's yards and off of estates. We store some of the wood in the creek underwater where it keeps it wet. With a boat, a lot of the timber in the bottom of the boat is wet for the whole life of the boat. So when we build the bottom of the boat, we try to use green or soaking wet wood, and then as we get to the top, we use the drier woods. And the grain of the wood is really important, how the log is sawn and where each piece of the log goes into the boat is all critical to the longevity of the vessel once you're done.
The area itself here in Essex, the history of schooners and boat building is so rich.
Oh, this is unquestionably hallowed ground. Many people like the fact that the boats that we take them sailing in are of this area, from trees from this area, made to fit the local conditions and made to fit the local use. And they're also cultural icons. They're what we would describe as the chariots of the fishing industry. People like to see those local boats and also the types of boats that we use for fishing in New England when the country was first formed, when the area was first settled. Many people come to this area because they feel a connection to it, and the vessels that we're building and we take people sailing definitely connect people to that past, which is so important around here.
Only a short distance from his shop in Essex, we made our way over to Gloucester Harbor to board the schooner Ardell, a 58-foot fishing vessel built by Harold and his friends over the winter of 2011.
Well, welcome aboard.
Wow, it's beautiful.
Well, I guess we ought to pull up the sails, right?
Let's do it.
All right. We're gonna haul up the sail.
Okay.
You're a brute. One of the things we try to do with this boat is sail it like they were designed to be sailed. And so we try to sail it like they did in days gone by. I think of sailing the boat as a skill and really a performing art. If it's not being sailed well, it's akin to somebody singing off key at a concert. Between 1850 and 1853, the town of Essex, where I'm from, built 159 schooners for the Gloucester fleet. It was a time of massive growth in this port. And by the mid-1850s, there were 450 vessels working out of this harbor.
Incredible.
The lighthouse must make for a beautiful view when folks come on a charter.
Absolutely. And it's a real working light. I think the original one was put there in about 1830, a harbor light, guiding ships into Gloucester Harbor on a dark, clear night. These lighthouses were the GPS of their day. One of the things about these boats is they're as natural to this harbor as the lighthouse or the stones. They're a piece of this area, and a lot of locals really like to support this business and the other schooners. And so when people come to town, they bring them out and show off the boats and the waterfront and the harbor. And this is a great way to do it, this perspective from the water.
So these passengers, they get great views, they see some nature, they're learning some history. You're
Yeah.
checking all the boxes.
Oh yeah, well that's the idea.
Yeah.
Give everybody the best experience you can and hope they come back. And many of our customers come back year after year. Shipbuilding is an ancient craft. It goes back thousands of years into the Phoenicians and taking trees and turning them into boats. It's a wonderful process. You know you're not going to live forever, but it's nice to think that some of the things you do will continue on long past your time.